All right, we're back. Hi, everyone. Sorry about that. Take two. That's right. It's been a while since I've had a technical difficulty, so this is good, I think. It's reminding us of our limitations right now. All right. Let's see. He's not here yet. Could be, he is in the UK, so it might just be too far. All right. Hope it works. Oh, it's connecting! Yeah!
I'm so sorry.
Why? It's fine.
Really not my style. We're dealing with some Game of Thrones internet connection up here in the Highlands.
What do you mean?
So I'm up in the Highlands in Scotland, around for the hills, and just in case there was going to be a zombie apocalypse. And the Wi-Fi, we're on like dial-up or something. So forgive me. I'm so sorry. It's not my style.
Well, hey, we're here now. We made it work. And your picture looks pretty clear to me. Oh, cheers. I have water because here it's noon.
I have whiskey.
I mean, that's
Scotch.
appropriate. Scotch. How are you?
Really well. Let me just turn you up.
Okay.
I'm really... It's good to see you. I've been missing my LA family. I mean, the universe wanted me to stay in the UK for a minute, but I have been missing you guys. So,
I know.
What am I missing?
Oh, a lot. A lot's going on right now.
I mean, you're walking around Los Feliz. Do you have an animal? Do you have an alibi?
I don't have an animal, so a lot of times when I'm like, oh, I should go for a walk, I just end up finding something else to do to keep me from going on that walk.
Yeah.
And, since I don't have an animal that I have to walk, I'm just kind of like, I guess I could just sit here and watch another episode of something.
That sounds, I mean, you need to get out. You need to keep moving. I have a Cocker Spaniel that gives me an alibi to just wander the streets.
Yeah. How long have you been back in the UK? Did you get out before everything, or?
Yeah. I came back to vote, so just before Christmas.
Got it. Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. I'm not going to discuss which way I voted, but that's a different show. I feel like this isn't the controversial show.
Hey, it can really go any route at this point. You're joining in the beginning stages, so.
Now, quick question: Have you changed? Because when I first got on the app, you were wearing a cardigan, and I thought, Katelyn's wearing a cardigan for me, and I am, of course, wearing a cardigan over a turtleneck.
I put on this blazer for you. I was like, I'm gonna up my style game for the Mr. Hudson episode. So yeah, blazer works.
It's got a nice 80s thing, and I think I saw you perform in a blazer recently.
I do love a blazer. I do.
A sneaker and a blazer, so like.
Yes, everyone's like, oh, here's Katelyn again in her sneakers and a blazer. It's kind of all I like to wear. Anyway, thank you for joining me today.
My pleasure.
This is a very loose format, and I've been throwing around some names. I understand you might have a suggestion for a title for my show on Instagram here.
Katelyn at noon.
I love that.
It's got like a little bit of Ron Burgundy, Anchorman, but it just works. It does what it says on the tin. It's you in the middle of the day.
Does it matter that it's not noon everywhere? Or is it it just works?
Yeah. I mean, the funny thing is it kind of is noon everywhere at the moment.
That's true. That's true. It could be noon wherever.
It's coffee time, and then it's glass of wine or a scotch.
That's true. I feel like everyone's getting pretty lenient on what time of day you're allowed to be drinking what.
Somebody's just offered to do your title card. I could do the music, you know.
Oh,
Ba-da-ba-dum, ba-da-ba-dum, boo.
that's what I need. Okay, this has been really beneficial for me already. Okay, I have to admit that's the whole reason I asked you on was for you to hopefully offer to make my intro music. So now that that's out of the way,
it's going to be really short.
Perfect.
And I'm just seeing, like, you know, it's going to be bubbly. It's going to be lighthearted. It's going to be like a little cultural, maybe a little review section, some traffic.
Yeah.
A cooking section.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, a lot of my, like, I've been trying to think of some segment ideas and they all have to do with food. Which I think works. That's kind of what we're all looking forward to right now.
Yeah.
Right?
I think Katelyn at Noon is a format that could outlast the pandemic.
Yeah, it's great. We've got vision. Okay.
I see a town car picking you up at 5 a.m. every morning to get you to hair and makeup at 6. You know, you're going to read the stories of the day. You're going to be, you know, camera ready, meet the guests, meet the audience, cameras roll at noon.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that.
Brunch.
I mean, 5 a.m. might be tough, but it gets me out early, so I still have a lot of the day left.
Tell me, why do actors have to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning when the shoot doesn't start till like noon?
I don't know. That's a great question. I think there's like so many moving parts to a set that it's like the actor better not be the thing holding us up. So we're going to get them as early as possible, get them ready, and then send them away until they're needed on set, which is usually 6 hours later.
By which time you've been able to learn your lines and
and also like it's always interesting to me when you think about like being on a set and having to act. Like if your first scene is like, say it's like some super emotional scene where you have to get upset or cry, or it's like a lot to ask at like 7 or 8 a.m. when you're barely awake. I don't know. I'm always like, oh, how do people do that? How do other actors do that?
I've heard there's a thing called chair time where like you sit with your script and your coffee and, you know, maybe they're messing with your hair and makeup, and that's actually a really crucial time when you're not really being bothered, or not unpredictably anyway, and you can sort of sit with the scene and get into that emotional state.
Yeah, I guess now that I'm thinking about it, it'd probably be easier to do a like somber, emotional, hard scene in the morning rather than one where you maybe have to be energetic. I think that might be the harder one.
Yeah.
To have to turn on.
So you're in an interesting position of acting and writing and singing, and I guess you have an advantage. You're kind of cheating because when you have to perform a song, even if you're feeling in a different mood to how you wrote it, maybe you can find a way to get back to that mood.
Yeah.
Would that be correct?
Yeah. I think sometimes the actor, like performer side is helpful when performing live, and you're like, because to me, and I don't know if you're like this too, like even if I'm not necessarily feeling in a state that I'm like really connecting to whatever song I'm singing, usually when it starts and I start singing, I kind of get in that mode again. And I don't know if that is the actor in me, or is it just music?
Is it the music taking you back?
I feel like it does, yeah.
And I guess if you're shooting a scene, that might be the equivalent of what you're wearing and the hairstyle and the
and a lot of times it's helpful maybe to put on a song in like your headphones or something and get into whatever mood you're supposed to be in.
What do you listen to when you need to feel some type of way?
Okay, this is not an interview to me, okay? I'm just kidding. I don't know. I mean, I've listened to sad songs before to get sad. I don't know, Ben. I don't know. All right, look.
James Blake, London Grammar.
Yeah. It's usually those like some devastating ballad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really slow, no drums.
Right.
Just ethereal.
Take me away.
Yeah. Titanic. Sorry, I got creaky floorboards up here. It really is Game of Thrones situation.
Oh my gosh, it's perfect.
And I'm so sorry I was late. That's just not my style, you know.
That's okay. It's not your style. You are prompt.
I'm
You're
early.
on it. You're early.
I'm early.
So, Mr. Hudson, can I call you Ben?
Yeah.
Do you find that your friends are sometimes like, because sometimes when I'm referring to you, I'm like, I'm gonna go over to Mr. Hudson. So I'm like, seems kind of strange to just keep saying Mr.
That's funny. No one ever wants to call me Mr. Hudson. They find some way around. It's like Mr. H,
yeah.
Hud, Huddy,
yeah.
Hudson, Ben.
Yeah, Ben.
So maybe Mr. Hudson was a terrible stage name.
I think it's a great stage name. I think it's just once you get past, you know, just being music friends and you're like actual real friends, which I don't want to brag, but we are real friends.
Exactly.
It's funny, but because sometimes I'll be like, but my other friends don't know you, so I'm like, I'm gonna hang out with Ben. They're like, who's Ben? And I have to be like, Mr. Hudson.
It's funny. I mean, a stage name is something you coin very early on and very flippantly sometimes, or for a different reason. Like Mr. Hudson was my kind of hip hop name in terms of I wanted to make beats for rappers, and I was going to be Mr. Hudson because that's that would be like the
band was called Mr. Hudson in the Library, right? Was that a plan? Or?
Exactly. I mean, I thought I was going to be a hip hop producer just making beats, and I thought, okay, I've got to be like Missy Elliott, or you know, I've got to have one of those names.
Yeah.
I can't just be Ben Hudson. So I was Mr. Hudson, but then I also had a band, so it was Mr. Hudson and the Library. And it's funny, when I signed to Kanye, he was like, "Yeah, it's too long. We need to lose like the second half. Just keep the Mr. Hudson bit." Yeah, that's fine. Don't sack the band. Everyone thought I'd sacked the band. I used to get so much hate back in 2008.
That's a song.
You know, we did a show in London and somebody shouted out, "Judas!" And you know your Bible, right? So somebody called me Judas at my own show, and it's like, no, I haven't sacked the band. We just took the name off the poster.
Yeah, no, for sure. I saw that actually. I was looking, you know, I met you back in 2012 when I was in London doing my first writing trips, my first time I've ever been to London. I was very intimidated by everything.
But not by me.
Well, no, I was going to say, you know, I'd been told, okay, you're going to do a session with Mr. Hudson. And I obviously knew who you were.
I thought you were in trouble.
Well,
it's like against the principal's office.
No, I was like, you're going to do a session with Mr. Hudson. I obviously look you up and I'm like, oh my God, he's worked with so many cool people. Look at him, he looks so cool. I was like looking at all your photos, like your platinum hair. I think one picture I saw of you, honestly, you were holding a cat.
Yes.
Is that true, or did I make that up?
Dressed as like a James Bond villain.
Yeah, and it was obviously kind of like a goofy character, but like not knowing you, I was like, this guy, I don't know what I'm walking into, because he can either be nice or he's either going to be like very scary and kind of like dismissive. And obviously I walk in the session, it's in London, I walk in and you're like, hi guys, and we immediately became friends. The session was great. You ended up taking us out on the town after, and really
we got drunk, didn't we?
We got drunk. You really made our London experience, like my London experience, so much fun. And yeah, it was funny, like me walking in being like, this, I don't know about this guy, based on like a picture or two that I saw, and the fact that you were very successful, are very successful, and I was just starting out. Anyway, just a fun little story of how great you are.
That you're too kind. You know, I remember that studio I had sort of, it was like a music shop, wasn't it? I had one of
Yeah.
everything, like a sort of musical arc.
Yes.
And you probably, you know, people would walk in and I'd like give them an instrument, a cup of tea and an instrument. And
Yeah.
you probably said, I don't play ukulele or I don't play saxophone. And I would have said,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yes, that's exactly what happened. I think you gave me like some weird shaker, like I don't even know. And I
A
was like,
guiro.
a what?
It would have been a guiro, the
Yeah, okay.
ridged instrument, and you scrape it with a
Scrape
stick.
it. Yeah, and you're like, just go for it. Go for it. Have fun. Like, yeah, you can make this, you can do this. And it was like really fun because it made me relax and be like, oh, like this is like I don't have to come in here and prove that I'm really good to Mr. Hudson. Like you made me feel really comfortable and made it really fun. And I feel like, you know, that's kind of your approach to a lot of, you know, the way that you create music and how you go about things. I mean, every time I've worked with you, it's always just felt laid back, fun. We always get something that we're into. And
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, do you find that, like, when you know, you started out Mr. Hudson in the Library, you guys toured with Amy Winehouse, right?
Yeah, on the Back to Black tour. So,
That's insane.
you know, we toured that album with her in the UK and a couple of shows in Europe as well. And it was her at the peak of everything
Yeah.
musically, in terms of the media interest.
Yeah.
Um, so that was an interesting time, you know. Um,
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
I, I, yeah, we got to watch her sing every night. So
to have that experience is so cool.
yeah, and it's like a lot of things you don't know at the time.
Right.
You don't have the objectivity because you're in
Right.
it.
Right.
And then I talked to people a few years later, and they mentioned Amy Winehouse, and you know, it's important not to be boastful, but if it's relevant, I'll say, oh yeah, I toured with her back in 2007, the Back to Black tour.
Yeah.
And then you sort of realize, hang on, she's such an icon, you know.
Such an
She's
icon. Yeah.
like, people tattoo her lyrics on their bodies. People have her face on their bedroom walls. You know, she's
Yeah.
like,
I know. And she's
she's the
inspired,
one.
I feel like, so many artists today to like make music, and she's such an inspiration to so many artists.
Yeah, I think particularly for female singers, of course, but just
Yeah.
generally, I think you know, she was just so exciting to watch.
Yeah.
And we toured with her for like 6 weeks.
Man, that's so
But
cool.
now I kick myself because I feel like did I take it for granted? Was I not present? Was I not aware enough of
Yeah.
what it was? Because if you could go back in time, you'd be down the front at every show and you
Oh
wouldn't
my
blink.
gosh. Yeah.
You
Yeah.
wouldn't go to the bar. You wouldn't go to the restroom.
Right.
You'd watch Amy for an hour and a half. But of
Right.
course, I was like, I'm going to the bar. I gotta
Yeah.
go to the restroom. I'm hungry. I'm gonna
Yeah.
go get some Indian food. Like, or you know, I gotta go and call my girl or my mother. Like,
Right.
I didn't watch the entirety of every show,
Well,
because
I
you don't
mean,
know at the time.
yeah, that makes sense. I never got to see her live at all, so you know, I guess it's all relative. I'm
I
sure
had one
you,
artist here in the UK, who, you know, wasn't sure about who they wanted to work with, and then eventually said, yeah, I want to work with him because he toured with Amy. And I was like, oh wow, cool.
Okay. Yeah, I mean that makes sense. So
But yeah,
yeah, I mean, so after that, and I'm just giving a little brief history in case some of the people watching aren't familiar, you know, as familiar with your work, because I mean, they should be. And if they don't know, they need to know. that you've been a part of so many just iconic projects. After you did that tour, wasn't soon after that when you went to work with Kanye on 808s and Heartbreak, right? Did you miss that?
Sorry if there was an interruption there. My mum just tried to call. I should have warned her.
It's okay.
My mum, normally I pick up the phone. I used to pick up the phone to my mum when I was on stage, and the crowds loved it. You know, they'd be like, sorry guys, my mum. I'd be like, yeah, mum, yeah, we're on the third song. Yeah, bye.
Yeah, going well.
Yeah, I'm in Sheffield, great crowd. Where were we? So, listen, that was touring with Amy was 2007.
Right.
And we thought, my mum is just blowing up my phone.
Oh, no.
I should have warned her. Mum, I'm going on Insta Live.
Hey, Mom, I'm doing something really important. Katelyn at Noon, have you ever heard of it?
I'm on Katelyn at Noon.
This is big for me.
So talking of big deals, am I too close to the camera? I should come back here. Talking of big deals, I'm just trying to get closer to you, Katelyn.
I keep leaning in like.
And these banners keep blocking your face.
Oh yeah. Well,
I'm kind of new to Insta Live. If you can't,
you're doing great. You're doing great.
So it's 2007. We're touring with Amy Winehouse. We've put out an album on Universal in the UK. Sting says he likes the record. We end up supporting the Police on their reunion tour, and we play in front of 40,000 people with the Police. So we played with Amy Winehouse, we played with the Police, and a couple of other things happened, right? So we thought we made it.
Yeah.
We made it. Hall of Fame shit, right?
Yeah.
And then 2008 was weirdly quiet until Kanye said, or his manager said, obviously, get on the next plane to Hawaii. I didn't even know where Hawaii was.
Right.
I have no business knowing where Hawaii is.
Right.
Why do I need to go to Hawaii?
Why do you need to go to Hawaii?
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I wouldn't know which way round the world you go to get to Hawaii.
No.
So I got on the next plane to Hawaii and entered this whirlwind of good music. And the reason I went out there was to help. And that's Kanye's word, not mine. He said, I don't know what you're going to do, but I just want you to help. I went out there to help with a Jay-Z album called The Blueprint 3.
Okay.
And I was staying in this like 11-star hotel in Hawaii.
Yeah.
They had dolphins in the pool. I had a 4-poster bed.
Oh my God.
I'm from Birmingham. I have no business in a 4-poster bed.
No,
right?
Not in Hawaii.
My room opens out onto a golf course. I don't play golf. I have no. Why am I? This is somebody else's room, somebody else's life. I was there for a week. I contributed absolutely nothing to the Blueprint 3 until the last day. And I thought, this is so embarrassing. I've been here for a week. I have not they've flown me to Hawaii. I haven't contributed everything. I think I was kind of intimidated, right?
Yeah, I was going to say, like, were you like me walking into your studio?
I think I was maybe even more intimidated. Nobody gave me a ukulele or a cup of tea, even though we were in Hawaii. Right?
They weren't there to.
So, so it's the last day. I'm in Hawaii, and I was having breakfast with Virgil Abloh. Now,
yeah,
he's gone on to be a star of the fashion and design world, but at that point, he was, to me, he's Virgil, right? So we're having breakfast, putting the world to rights. We wandered down onto the beach, chilling. It's my last morning in Hawaii, and I said to him, Virg, I feel bad. I haven't really contributed anything. You know, I feel like I need to add value to the project. I need to do something. I need to make my mark as well, creatively. I need to. He it's not good for your self-esteem as an artist to fly around the world at great expense to like, you know, Island Def Jam or whoever it was.
Right. You wanna like prove that you're
LA Reid. Yeah, LA Reid's like 10 grand deep on a vacation for me in Hawaii.
Right. You're like, I need to be useful here.
And Virgil said, he's always a very wise, he's very eloquent and wise. And he said to me, you know, you just need to get up and swing the bat. And we're standing there in the shallows in Waikiki. And the two of us must have been the whitest and blackest guys on the beach. It was, you know, I was aware of that at the time. I was like, I was this white.
Why do you have a mannequin just off screen?
Right?
Oh my god!
I hadn't been in the sun at that point since probably like the early 90s as a kid. So he said, get up and swing the bat. So I went to the studio and I thought, okay, Virgil knows, right? Virgil, but you know, and because he was the reason that Kanye had heard Missiles in the Library in the first place, right?
Oh, Virgil was.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
So I went into the studio and we made Forever Young.
Wow. On the last day.
Yeah. And then I went to the airport via the club.
So in case anyone missed that, Mr. Hudson is obviously featured on Forever Young, or Young Forever.
Yeah. But it's Forever Young, isn't it?
Yeah, well, the Jay-Z.
I mean, they did that so it wasn't the same title as the song that we were covering.
Yeah, yeah. That's so cool. And then you went on to like perform that song so many cool places, right? I mean, do you have a favorite time you performed that song?
It took me around the world, that song.
Yeah. I mean, you played it on, yeah, I mean.
I played it up mountains and on tropical islands and, yeah, I mean,
yeah.
Supernova was a big hit in the UK, but Forever Young was global. So
yeah,
took me to all four corners of the globe, really. Australia, South Africa, and weirdly, I've never been to South America.
Oh.
They're just not feeling Mr. H.
It just didn't take you there.
Then you're at Hudson, not feeling it.
Oh, man. So cool. And then you worked on 808s and Heartbreaks with Kanye after that.
Yeah, I guess so. That was kind of my business card in a way.
Yeah, yeah.
I was like, this is what I do.
Yeah, and yeah.
But the funny thing is I didn't sing anything like Young Forever on 808s and Heartbreak. I was more involved in production and lyrics and melodies, and although I did feature on it, funnily enough, the Paranoid vocal that I sang was a Hail Mary as well.
Oh,
my bags were packed, so I got to fill in the story in between. So I did that week on the Blueprint 3, and then I went back to London and I turned on my BlackBerry and it said, "Get back on the plane."
Of course.
So I think I probably ignored that and went and got some clean clothes and went to Los Angeles, and we started work. Then I think we went to Hawaii and started work on 808s and Heartbreak.
Someone just asked, did you write the hook for Paranoid, or was it Cuddy?
I don't remember.
Yeah.
I think we were all pitching in, but I think it might have mainly been Cuddy. And all I remember is, it must have been Cuddy, because my bags were packed and they were in the hall, and I was about to go back to London at the end of the 808s and Heartbreak session. And I think we got to the point where we were playing Mario and Street Fighter 2 and watching movies.
Great. You
know, when you're just like tweaking and you're basically just hanging out in the studio playing video games and just chilling basically. And my bags were packed. I had to go to the airport. There's a town car waiting, and I turned around to Mr. West and I was like, listen, thank you so much. It's been a joy being here and working with you guys. I think it's an incredible album. Thank you so much. It's a really powerful project. There's only one problem with it. He said, what? I said, I'm not singing on it. As in, I don't have a feature.
Yeah.
And he said, well, let's go and fix that. We turned around 180 in the corridor, in the hall, walked back in. I went into the booth and sang the Paranoid hook. The car was still waiting. I went and got in the car, flew back to London.
What?
Life can be like a movie sometimes.
Your life for sure.
But I mean, look, I think my life's actually like a novel, but that it has little bits. Life is more like a novel, but if you share with people just the really, really exciting bits, then it's a movie, I guess. True. But that's your department.
No, that sounds right. I like that. Man, yeah. I mean, you have the best stories. That's why I was like, I got to get you on here. Got to get you on my big show. Best story.
We can do this again, you know, because I've got a lot of stories. I'm older than I look.
That's true. Maybe I'll have to make you a weekly guest. Uh-oh. Oh, no. No! The Wi-Fi. The Highlands. Ben. Oh, no. I can't decide if I should... Oh! Oh, he's back. Phew!
It's like I burped and it brought back the signal somehow.
I was like, I hope that wasn't just the end.
But you can handle it. You're a pro. This is Katelyn at noon. It's like nothing would throw you, right? You just be like,
nothing will throw me. Nothing. You can throw anything at me. I'll handle it like a pro. This is week 4. Okay.
In all seriousness, would you do like a TV show called Katelyn at noon?
Like this kind of format, like a talk show?
Like a lunchtime, like a brunch time. It's brunch time.
It's brunch time.
You know,
I'm honestly having a really good time doing this. It's like it's like just a chance to talk to people that I like and get to do it, I don't know, and work a muscle that I've never really worked before, honestly. Yeah. Because interviewing people and like keeping the conversation going isn't easy. I'm not saying I'm great at it, but what's cool about Instagram Live is it feels like a cool place to try it out.
Yeah.
You know, it's not like it is on TV yet, but maybe if I get good enough, maybe.
What would be your USP?
Is that, what do you mean, like my platform?
No, sorry. Unique selling point. I think that's a unique page.
Oh, man, you're really, these are, I don't know. I feel like I'm liking it. I listen to a lot of podcasts that are, you know, interviews with people that and I always find this interesting. I like being able to just have a little bit of a longer conversation and get a little deeper with people. I love listening to that, and so it's been fun to kind of try my version of it.
But you evidently like celebrating other people, so I think you could, you know, we once wrote a song called "You're So Cool," and I think it could be something like that. You're so cool with Katelyn Tarver, and basically you get someone on and you tell them, you celebrate them, you tell them what you appreciate about them.
Yeah.
And, you know, and then go off from there to stories and
yeah,
stuff,
I mean, that's true. I do like celebrating people, and because everyone has such a unique story and skill and life, and things that they bring to the table. And I don't know, being able to realize how similar we all are, even though
Yeah.
we all come from different backgrounds and do different things and have reached different levels of success. I don't know. I always find that there's way more similarities between all of us than differences.
And then you could do a duet with them.
And there we go.
Lauren had a good suggestion. Lauren needs to type that out again. It's basically like singing, chat, and something.
Yeah.
But listen, you've got the blazer for it.
That's true. This might have to be. I'll just get them in a bunch of different colors.
I think it was a red blazer last time.
I did a show at school night
in Los Angeles. Yeah.
And you were there, and I did have on a red blazer. I had on a full red suit that night.
Yes, correct.
Yes, that's right. That was
you
fun.
know, there aren't many blondes who can wear red.
Really?
I can't wear red. See this redness from the whiskey? It would bring that out.
It might look good.
I only had a finger.
Oh gosh.
You know what it is? I haven't had dinner. That's.
Yeah, I know it's dinner time. I gotta let you go soon so you can cook. But just really quick before we move on, just so everyone knows, I mean, you've worked on 808s and Heartbreaks. You sang for Every Young Jay-Z. You featured on songs with DJ Snake and Future and Miley Cyrus, and you've produced songs for Janelle Monáe and John Legend, and you produced Duran Duran's album. I mean, you have so many accolades, and you continue to add to that and release your own music and produce for other artists. And you're just a legend, truly. And you're so nice and disarming, and I don't know, make it a point to, I feel like you also celebrate your friends and the people around you, and you know, have taken the time to talk to me today and share some of these stories with me and everybody watching. And I just appreciate it. And you're the best.
Oh, thank you.
And
you're the best.
Also, what?
You're the best.
Oh, well, thanks.
Back at you.
But one thing you've been doing lately is, and I'd love for you to talk about it a bit. You're creating, what would they be called? Like packs for Splice?
Oh yeah, I was telling you about this website called Splice.
Yes.
You know, I'm up in the Highlands. I love the fact that we haven't talked about the pandemic that we're in the middle of.
Well, at a certain point, it's like we all know.
Yeah, exactly. It's like in LA. You know, there's traffic. It's like tourists talk about traffic.
Right. It's why you also can't blame being late on traffic when you live here.
Yeah. Yeah, the 405. Yeah.
Oh, just traffic. It's like, yeah.
As an Englishman, I can always blame traffic. People just assume I'm just passing through.
Well, you can do a lot of stuff here because of your accent. It's just true.
Right.
Yeah. You're lucky.
So, I haven't been particularly inspired song-wise. I don't know about you, but maybe as we adjust to the new normal, I will be. No, but what I've been doing is I've been building a library of samples, just using my laptop, and I've got a couple of guitars and synthesizers and stuff that I threw in the back of the car before I escaped London, and which is such a privilege to be able to do. I'm aware of that, but you know, I've been making these loops and samples for splice.com, and then basically you go on the website and you have to sign up, like, you know, $10 a month or whatever.
Yeah.
It's so effectively kind of like Spotify money, but then you can download thousands of samples, whether you want drums or piano loops or whatever.
Yeah.
So I've actually been enjoying just crafting those. So
yeah,
I haven't been writing any masterpiece songs. That'll come later.
Yeah.
But just crafting these little, like, it's almost like making little gifts or party favors, I think you call them, like, and just send them off and they'll go and have their own life. And the great thing about it is if you download them, you don't owe me any publishing, you don't owe me anything, you don't owe the website anything, it's yours. So you can then go and write to it, build a song around it, use the drums, whatever.
Yeah, that's so cool.
I've been lucky to have that as a little kind of project to work away on. What are you doing to stay sane and feel productive?
Katelyn at noon.
Katelyn at noon.
No, honestly, these have been keeping me busy. I haven't been super inspired.
Because you're doing it every day, right?
Yeah, I've been doing them every day during the week, and so I've been doing that. I mean, yeah, it's been hard for me to like write, like start from scratch, write songs too. I don't know why. It just feels a little. I'm trying to like. I've been playing. You know, I don't really play instruments. Like that's not like my first thing. But I've been playing songs live on this, so it's forced me to learn a bunch of my songs on acoustic and on piano and stuff. Mom.
Yeah.
Which has been really
that was
nice.
Low battery.
Do I?
That was low battery. That wasn't my mother. That was a low battery alert. See,
Oh,
I'm not a pro. I should have it plugged in. Is this a?
I know. Actually, I'm realizing mine's not plugged in either, but I think I'll make it.
Oh, I found a lightning cable.
Oh, nice.
What's plugged into? It's plugged into a computer. Let's see if the computer's plugged in.
Yeah. But yeah, other than that, I feel like kind of doing what everybody's doing, watching TV and cooking a lot, which I know you're a fantastic cook.
Am I? I mean, I can
think
chop.
You have your dishes, and they are all impressive.
I can chop onions.
I can chop them. Come on.
I can chop them chunky. I can chop them. I can dice them. I can chop onions. You know.
Really tiny.
Just to a mush.
Yum.
Yeah. So, I mean, everything starts with an onion, pretty much, doesn't it? And then
it does.
Then you see what you've got in the refrigerator. It's, you know, I've been just making just pasta.
Yeah.
Pasta.
I like pasta.
Pasta. With courgettes.
What?
Courgettes. They're in season. Zucchini, you call them.
Oh.
Interestingly, an Italian person corrected me the other day and said it's zucchine.
Oh.
And that the Americans got it twisted and called it zucchini.
Well, of course. Of course, we're saying it wrong.
So, when we do Katelyn at noon, we'll chop some onions together. And,
yes. Well, there will definitely be like a chopping food, cooking segment on Katelyn at noon. There has to be.
Let's do it.
All right. Well, before you go, are you gonna play something for us?
Sure. I think I can find a guitar somewhere.
All right.
I'm a little tipsy after that whiskey. But...
Well, you knew this was coming, so I'm not gonna apologize.
Oh, here's the guitar.
Oh my gosh, crazy. What are you gonna play?
So, this guitar is an old friend of mine. It's what we call a Spanish guitar. What do you call it in the United States of America?
I think I would call it that too.
Would you call it a classical guitar?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
You can see your face in it.
Yeah.
I bought this guitar 20 years ago.
Oh, wow.
And getting it out, whipping it out for the pandemic, it's kind of like an old friend. I knew I had to throw it in the back of the car and have it with me, because this is, you know, there's like guitars to go on stage with and feel like a rock god, and there's guitars you take to the studio, there's guitars you use to get certain tones or whatever.
Yeah.
But there's the guitar you come back to that's like the piano in you know, at your mum and dad's house.
Right. Yeah.
It's like an old friend that you write on.
Yeah.
So playing this guitar has got me thinking back to the time I bought it. And the first song I ever released, I wrote on this guitar.
Oh, wow.
And the lyric kind of is, I think, pertinent to the times we're in, because it's all about, the song's all about saying you don't need much. You just need, you got to eat, and then you need. It was inspired by a film called Bread and Roses. Do you ever see that movie?
No.
I got to play this song before the sun sets. Have you noticed that it's getting dark? It's getting real dark.
And darker.
I got to use the mannequin to bounce some light off.
Yeah, we never got into that, but we'll let it go.
Anyway, this song's called Bread and Roses, and it's an old. Am I allowed to use the word socialist? It's an old it's an old slogan. We need bread, but we need roses too. Just eat sustenance, the sustenance for the body, and then the sustenance for the heart. And I watched that movie like 20 years ago, and it made me think about a friend of mine who was like chasing the wrong things. He was chasing money and girls and doing naughty things. And I just thought, bro, like, take it back to basics. That's not where you're going to find happiness. You know? So it's called Bread and Roses. I'm going to sit back in case I holler.
All right, great.
Should tune this thing. Give blood, make love, and don't think twice. Too many of us, we're just trying to get paid, so why not give blood, make love, and don't think twice? Only bread and roses will you find on my table. I've been watching for too long, and I can tell there's something wrong with you. Now what you gonna do with all that cash? Gonna get boring, feels so flesh. So why not give blood, make love, and don't think twice? Too many of us, we're just trying to get paid, so why not give blood, make love, and don't think twice? Don't ask me why. Only bread and roses will you find on my table. I've been watching for too long, and I can tell there's something wrong with you. Now what you gonna do with all that cash? Must get boring, being so flesh. And you don't need all the lights and the spliff that you smoke from time to time. You don't need all the lights and the rocks that you smoke from time to time. It's why I say, why not give blood, make love, and don't think twice. Too many of us, we're just trying to make paper. Why not give blood, make love, and don't think twice? Don't ask me why. Only bread and roses will you find on my table.
Yeah! Woo! I love that.
First song I ever released.
That's crazy.
First song I ever released. So it's funny, people, you say don't look back, but there's something about this time that I think is making people look like in and back and all the places you're not meant to look.
Yeah.
Don't look under the bed.
I know. No distractions. It's like,
you know, we're always meant to be like, always meant to be hustling and moving forward and goals and blah blah blah. And I'm like, what about call your mum? I mean, which I will do after this call.
Which you should do. I should let you go so you can call your mom back. My mom's actually in the house commenting. She's giving you a lot of hand claps. Kim Tarver.
Hi, Mom. I feel like I've met your folks. Have I met your folks? I think
you have. Yeah, I think you have. Well, hey, I think this thing might cut us off at some point soon, so I want to make sure we end it before we're forced to. Ben, thank you so much for coming on today.
My pleasure.
So nice, and it's really honestly made me miss you and want to go get lunch at Little Dom's.
We're gonna do it. Shout out Little Dom's. I've got a funny feeling it won't be for about 6 months, but
well, hey, it'll just be that much better.
You know, absence makes the heart grow fonder.
Right.
I've missed you and the LA fam, and we're gonna get some spaghetti and drink some good Californian red,
Yes.
and write some songs, and we're gonna figure out Katelyn at noon.
Yes, we are. That's going to be the goal. All right. Well, I'll let you go make some dinner, call your mom, and I'll talk to you soon.
Thank you for having me on Katelyn at
Thanks
noon.
for coming on. See ya.
Take care. Lots of love. Bye-bye.
Bye. Oh, man. Isn't he the best? All right. I don't know how much more time I have, but thanks to Ben Hudson, Mr. Hudson, for coming on and chatting with us and sharing all those stories. That's just the tip of the iceberg with him. He's just one of my favorite people of all time, and truly legendary. Like, it's crazy. He has so many accolades, but is still so genuine and humble, and yeah, just love him. So go check him out, go follow him, see what he's up to, go check out his Splice Pack if you're a producer. It's amazing. It's an amazing resource. And yeah, I hope everybody has a good day today. I'll be back tomorrow with Betty Who. So be sure to come back and tune in for that. It's going to be super fun. And yeah, another big thank you to Ben, Mr. Hudson. That was so fun. Hope you enjoyed it, everybody. And I'll see you tomorrow.